Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Saturday, September 17, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 360 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Purdue vs Syracuse. The Boilermakers have looked very good offensively so far, scoring more than 40 points per game while beating their opponents through the air and on the ground. But both of their games were at home where they had their fans behind them. They will be hitting the road for the first time and won't be as efficient offensively because the Orange have been great defensively through 2 games. They have done a good job preventing opponents from hurting them on the ground, and they've been better against the pass, averaging 3 sacks per game at home while picking off opposing quarterbacks twice. With the Boilermakers struggling against a good run defense in their first game, expect the Orange to stack the box and take their chances with O'Connell. The Orange have also done well offensively through their first 2 games. They threw and ran the ball well in those games, giving their opponents headaches. Even though the Boilermakers dominated an overmatched Indiana State team in their last game because they struggled against the pass when they faced a good opponent and will have a hard time slowing down Schrader, who is off to a great start. Expect a close game between 2 evenly matched teams, but the Orange will pull away in the 4th, so go with Syracuse to cover the spread. Our team pick is Syracuse Orange -1 points. 2 teams who can score playing in a noisy, packed dome will be fun. There will be some turnovers with a 3-3-5 attack of Syracuse and an experienced Boilermaker defense, but these teams can score as evidenced by the 43.5 PPG for Purdue and 39.5 PPG for Syracuse. Get your popcorn and hammer the over for this fun non-conference game. Our total pick is over 58.5 points. Texas State vs Baylor. The Bobcats bounced back from their loss to Nevada with an easy win over Florida International in their last game. They will be trying to pull off an upset of the Bears with a win on Saturday, which will give them their 2nd win in a row. Texas State played well offensively in their last game, scoring 41 points in the win. They are now averaging 27.5 points per game through their first 2 games. They are throwing for 259.5 yards and rushing for 107.5 yards per game. The Bears followed up their blowout win over FCS Albany with a loss to the Cougars in their last game. They are back at home, where they have gone 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games, and will try to bounce back from the loss with a win over the Bobcats, which will give them their 2nd win in 3 games. Baylor has done well offensively, scoring 44.5 points per game through their first 2 games. They are throwing for 222.5 yards and rushing for 205.5 yards per game. The Bobcats split their first 2 games, losing their first road game to a Nevada team that lost to FCS Incarnate Word at home in their last game. They played well offensively in their last game and ran the ball very well in the win. However, they were unable to run against the Wolfpack, who gave up over 200 yards in their last game, and they're facing a Baylor team that held their first 2 opponents under 100 yards rushing and will have a hard time moving the ball on the ground in this game. Even though they threw the ball well in their first 2 games, Hatcher has been careless with the ball, turning it over 3 times. The Bears haven't picked off an opposing quarterback yet, but they have played well against the pass and do a good job bringing pressure, so expect them to force Hatcher into making costly mistakes in this game. The Bears were held to only 20 points by a good BYU team in their last game, but they did a good job moving the ball, especially on the ground. The Bobcats couldn't slow down Nevada's ground game and will have a hard time slowing down Baylor's ground game, which is picking up more than 200 yards per game, so go with the Bears to cover the spread. Our team pick is Baylor Bears -30 points. Texas State is 87th in overall offense. The Bobcats are averaging 27.5 points and 373.0 yards per game on offense. Texas State averages 113.5 yards rushing and 259.5 yards passing per game. Transfer quarterback Lane Hatcher has 515 yards passing with 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Calvin Hill has rushed for a team-high 210 yards with 1 touchdown, and Ashton Hawkins has caught 14 passes for 137 yards and 3 touchdowns to lead all receivers. Although Baylor has lost one of its first 2 games of the season, the Bears have a strong defense that is allowing an average of only 18 points per game. The Bears are allowing just 85 yards per game rushing, and the total has finished under in 6, have Baylor's last 7 overall, and in 9 in the last 14 games following a loss straight up. The total has also finished under in 6 of Texas State's last 8 overall, and in 24 of the Bobcats' last 33 played on the road. Our total pick is over 58.5 points. Western Kentucky vs Indiana. The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers were a team I was looking to fade heading into this season after losing Bailey Zappe to the NFL and offensive coordinator Zach Kittley to Texas Tech. However, instead of starting Jarrett Doege at quarterback, the Hilltoppers opted to go with Division II transfer Austin Reed before their first game, and the results have been promising. While he isn't Zappe, Reed does have 7 touchdowns through 2 games, while leading an offense that is averaging nearly 7 yards per play this season. The main reason I like backing Western Kentucky this week is due to the spot and decided advantage the Hilltoppers should have on the perimeter. For one, Indiana has a major look-ahead spot on deck with a date at Cincinnati set for next week. This is a rare non-conference revenge game for the Hoosiers, as the Bearcats knocked off Tom Allen's group in their building a season ago. On the other side, the Hilltoppers are coming off a bye week to rest and recuperate, and they shouldn't be looking ahead to lowly few next week. While the new pieces have fit pretty nicely for Western Kentucky, the same can't be said for the Hoosiers. Indiana brought in over a dozen new players from the transfer portal, including quarterback Connor Bazelak from Missouri. In the season opener, the Hoosiers averaged just 4.6 yards per play against Illinois and less than 1.5 yards per rush. Things didn't get better in week 2, as Indiana trailed 10-0 to Idaho, a middling FCS opponent, before rallying to knock off the Vandals. Even more concerning through 2 games has been the Hoosiers' poor play in the secondary, as they allowed Idaho to throw for 9 yards per attempt and 3 touchdowns. This offense is clearly a work in progress, while the defense has underwhelmed thus far. This meeting was decided by 2 points last season, and that was before Indiana lost its quarterback, plus a ton of pieces on defense. Look for Reed and the Hilltoppers to see consistent success in the passing game, and don't be surprised if Western Kentucky pulls the outright upset. Our team pick is Western Kentucky +7. Both of these teams put up plenty of points in their meeting last season, and the same should be expected this time around. Even though Bazelak and the Hoosiers have started slow in each of their first 2 games, the Hilltoppers' defense is still largely unproven after only facing Austin Peay and Hawaii this season. Therefore, I do see Indiana having success through the air en route to tallying about 4 touchdowns at home in this one. However, the real driver of this total is going to be the tempo, and Western Kentucky still plays at an extremely fast pace. The Hilltoppers are 2-0, but this team has not been tested yet. Western Kentucky's first 2 victories came against a struggling Hawaii team and Austin Peay. Western Kentucky struggled at times against Austin Peay as well. The Hilltoppers got the win thanks to a turnover differential of +4, but they averaged just 3.4 yards per rush and converted just 5 of 14 third downs. The Hoosiers have looked solid through 2 games, starting the season at 2-0 with wins over Illinois and Idaho. The Hoosiers were decimated by injuries last year, and the team is looking to bounce back this season under coach Tom Allen. Connor Bazelak has looked good over 2 games, and he should be able to have success here again. The Hilltoppers' passing game is averaging 9 yards per play through the first few weeks, and that should continue against a Hoosiers defense that ranks outside the top 100 in PFF's coverage grade metric. Reed has been rock solid in his first couple of starts at the Division I level, and I expect Western Kentucky to follow a game script that sees them establishing the run and taking the top off the defense via the explosive passing play, much like the Hilltoppers did in their first 2 games. This game should finish in the 60s, so I lean toward the over. Our total pick is under the total.